until or unless they return to do it again.
So,
Go ahead.
being a small town, I love seeing these kind of things. However, I'm hesitant because the city of Biggs has limited resources, for the staff to take in the paperwork, make sure the building is clean afterwards. I just feel like if we allow this to take place without, proper following policy and procedure, we're just gonna get it more and more, and then how do we decide who is, what organizations are valid, serving our community and who is not? So I'm very hesitant.
And for me, it's really, I guess, as much about budget as, what does it look, just what our overall budget is for the community hall and where all that stands.
Well, I'm pretty confident I can share with council that our expenditures in the past 12 months for the installation of HVAC systems, upgrades of electrical, and maintenance have vastly exceeded the income.
And that's, yeah. Well, for me, I would really like to hear from Jessica. I don't doubt that, this isn't a worthy cause, but it is kind of hard for me to move forward without hearing from her.
We can certainly, if council desires, carry this over to the next regular meeting. We will be instituting the first of our 2 monthly meeting schedule this month. And I can certainly, if council desires, I can certainly invite her to come back and to make the presentation in person.
Would everybody be okay with that?
Was there a timeline that she had to get this done before?
I don't know if you heard the timeline or the scheduled date. I'm not sure. I wish that she could be present to express that to you, or that we had something in writing that could clearly articulate what her parameters were.
First, I don't feel that having her here next meeting would change my mind. I feel that the resources for the city of Biggs are very limited. Again, and also if we allow, this charitable cause to use the center, then, then we're gonna have more and more. And so, we're dealing with people's emotions and their charitable causes, and they're very, passionate about those things. So, I just feel like we need to follow policy and procedure that we have set forth.
And we are doing that by hearing it next month. We wouldn't be violating policy. In order to do that, we would actually have to determine that, a change. Actually, I would like to hear from her, just because it's hard to say yes or no without hearing from her. But if, we need to decide a time, then I'm a no. But are you okay with her trying to get her back next month or the end of the month?
I'm okay with letting her come back. She was looking.
And that's would be my preference.
I think there's consensus at least on that, and barring any further, conversation, we will invite her back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item B, filling, discussion action filling the current city council vacancy.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm going to tee this up. This really is a conversation for our city attorney, but I did have the opportunity to go to the Butte County Clerk Recorder's office with our city clerk, Robin Bennett, and the mayor, because we want to make sure that we're navigating the rules correctly on this third vacancy. And there are, in addition to California state statute, our municipal code is operative, and I'll turn time to our city attorney to explain what we need to do.
Thanks, Cliff. Mayor and council, two of you have been appointed. The council cannot have three appointees. So the government code, as Cliff said, takes care of that and first prohibits a third appointment and then provides that this fifth seat can be filled at the next regularly scheduled election that's at least 114 days from now, either in November of 2025 or November of 2026. Those are the options. As Cliff said, our code is operative, but in this case, it doesn't change the government code. The government code provides for filling it either one of those two ways.
That's pretty straightforward, unfortunately. Any questions for Greg about this?
No, I was hoping it'd be even sooner than that, but there's no way it has to be on those election days that we have to do it.
Right.
So what I'm looking for is a motion and a vote directing staff to proceed with the county clerk recorder's office in the scheduling and execution on one of those dates. My recommendation is strongly that we do it sooner than later, this November. The city is technically able to conduct, under the law, the election itself. However, that's not what we do. And so my recommendation is that we partner with the county clerk's recorder's office for the execution of this election this November.
Is it gonna cost us more if we do it sooner? I mean, like.
Absolutely.
You don't know the numbers?
They're working on the numbers now, but the prospect of leaving the seat vacant through November of 2026 is a very real challenge for the community, and I think would represent a challenge to the council in terms of being operational. There's a number of very important functions served by having a whole council to effectively represent the concerns and interests of the community.
On November 2025, the special election, was there a cost?
We're ballparking it at around $40,000. We have the county clerk recorder staff working up the estimate now, and as soon as we have that, that would be folded into our budget study sessions. It really is as close to a non-negotiable matter as they come.
So that would be for our next budget year?
Correct. And so that becomes a significant priority for the council in those budget deliberations.
All right, so any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to have the special election this November. 2025.
Hey, Bo, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So what happens if, like, you guys vote on something and it's like 2 for yea, 2 for no, so how do you guys, like, figure that out? Like, you guys just stay there all night until one of you gives in to the other person, or? I mean, I'm just asking, how does that work?
Well, typically, when there's been a 2-2, it's usually somebody changes their vote, but honestly, Greg?
That's absolutely correct. And sometimes you can go on, the as long as everybody can stay awake. But that's the problem with having four. A problem with having four is that, you could have a tie and the matter's not decided, one way or the other, either yes or no.
So, anybody else?
So, the floor is open for a motion.
It's a lot of money. I'll motion for a special election, November 2025, to hold a special election.
Okay, I'll second that. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, item C, discussion action 2023 power source disclosure report.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this item is a fairly routine, it's usually routine, disclosure of where the city of Biggs, as a municipal provider of power, purchases its power. And this is for 2023. Ordinarily, this would have been taken care of in August of this past year. We are ordinarily looking back to the previous year and providing that power content label to our residents and our consumers of power on